And now the controversy over God Bless America. I grew up idolizing the NHL's Philadelphia Flyers. Had the team poster hung in my bedroom, proudly wore Bernie Parent's #1 jersey. When they won the Stanley Cup in the 73-74 season, it ended a long drought for Philadelphia sports fans. The city went berserk. 2 million celebrated at a parade. But the Flyers had help. An unusual lucky charm. A singer then much older than any of the players, Kate Smith. The Philadelphia Inquirer recounts that since 1969, the team has played Smith's God Bless America before must-win games where it has proven to be a good luck charm. According to the Flyers, the team went 101, 31-5 in games where Smith's version of the song aired. They went 3-1-0 where Smith sang the song live at the Spectrum, beginning with the Flyers' 1973 home opener against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I remember when, in 1974, she sang in person before the Flyers won the Stanley Cup. For the last 18 years, the New York Yankees have similarly played Smith's 1939 version of God Bless America during the 7th inning stretch. But this week, after being alerted by a fan to Smith having sung racist lyrics in the past, the Yankees announced that would end. And the Flyers just said they too would remove her from their playlist. The issue at hand, 1931 recording, a song called That's Why Darkies Were Born. The song includes the lyrics, quote, someone had to pick the cotton. And in the 1933 film Hello Everybody, Smith sings Pickin' Any Heaven, which encouraged, quote unquote, colored children living in an orphanage to fantasize about great big watermelons. And so in Philadelphia, 80 years after Smith recorded God Bless America, her statue outside the city's sports stadiums was just covered up as the Flyers decide what to do next. Joining me now to discuss, New York Times opinion columnist Charles Blow. Charles, weigh in on this controversy, please.
Well, I think it is perfectly reasonable for people to reconsider whether or not they want her version. It's not really about her version of God Bless America. Actually, let's just put that to the side. It's really about her to be incorporated into a modern presentation of any sort, including sports games. And so the idea that something happened a long time ago actually does not absolve you if you're including that person in a present phenomenon. And so I think that is perfectly reasonable to think about it. And you know, I don't see where there's a controversial thing for the teams to do.
What I hear you saying is no statute of limitations. In a case like this, we uncover it whenever you're done.
Absolutely, because sometimes people say, you know, oh, this was of a time. I just always think about it this way, the inverse of that, which is there were also black people who were living at the time. And I try to think about what they were thinking when people were doing things that were racially insensitive to them at the time, right? They weren't different people than me. They were the same person as I am today, and they had to live through things that were insensitive to them. And so I think about them, not the person who did it and that the mores of the time allowed them to do it, but rather that there were people who suffered because of it.
I'm floored that, I know we live in the internet age, and we didn't in the early 80s. Ronald Reagan gave Kate Smith the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1982. I'm floored that it has taken until now, even recognizing how we all have access to information, that now this comes to light. You know, where was this awareness for all those years that in Philadelphia we idolized her version of the song?
But this is not the first time that it took decades, generations for something to be corrected like this. You may recall the controversy over Carry Me Back to Old Virginia, which was the state song of Virginia up until, the early 2000s, right? That song was incredibly racially offensive to a lot of people, but it was written in the 1800s by a black man. right? It was recorded, and then Virginia made it their state song. I think it was 1940. Ray Charles recorded it on an album in the 80s, and it wasn't until the 2000s that people, it was the 1990s that people in Virginia were just like, enough of this. This doesn't make sense. This is a modern age. This song is inappropriate, and we should do something about it. Sometimes it takes time for people to have an awakening about something, but they do it, and I think it is perfectly fine to do that.
And in this case, Paul Robeson recorded one of these songs that is seemingly indefensible. Charles,
Exactly.
thank you for being here. We appreciate your time.
Sure.
Still to come.